So let me pose this question and throw this out there, right? Anybody can chime in. Let's say that you do have friends of the opposite sex, right? If you've been intimate with that person before, and you guys have somehow managed to save your friendship, right? It happened, but now you guys legitimately are friends, and you meet a person, and you tell them, hey, this is my friend, but we have been intimate. What does that look like?
Once again, a politician's answer, it's a cake by case basis.
All right, we're done with politics.
It is. If you have to, everyone's gonna have to feel out that dynamic, and you have to go with your instinct. Like if you don't feel comfortable with it, you have to be honest about that.
Yeah.
Everything goes with honesty and trust.
Yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable with that, your partner has to be willing to at least see where you're coming from and make an effort. If not, it's
So I've actually been in that situation before. My ex-husband, when we met, he had, as a matter of fact, he met through one of his female friends.
Okay.
And he had other female friends. And I felt like, who am I to come into his life and ask him to, sever these friendships that he's had prior to me. However, the dynamics had to change. You can't be my husband and sit on the phone all night with your best female friend. You can't go over her house like you used to. Y'all can't hang. The dynamic has to change, because even as a single person, like I remember a pastor saying this one time. He said, as a single man, he would get up 11, 12 o'clock at night and go to 7-Eleven and get a hot dog or whatever. He's like, but as a married man, he couldn't do that anymore. He just used that as an analogy.
Yeah.
But the dynamic would just have to change. I wouldn't want to make someone come into someone's life and ask them to,
Sever relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
So that brings up another question. There's so much, like I've been in situations where it's like, okay, do I sever this relationship because we used to be intimate, but we legitimately are friends and I have this new? How do you guys feel about asking someone to sever a relationship? Do you feel like, as a new person in, like if this person has been intimate, or if you're like, hey, something just doesn't sit well with me, maybe you guys have never been intimate, but just how your relationship is, if you want to be with me, I'm asking you to cut this relationship off. Do you feel like you have that right? And if they don't, you're out. What are your thoughts on that?
You have that right. And they have the right to comply or not.
Okay.
Just as simple as that. Like I can't deal with this situation. Okay, well I'm not willing to comply to that. So we just have to part with us.
I think this kind of like that case by case, but I think it relates to if you're at work, you have an HR thing that someone feels sexually harassed. Like it depends on the person, how they feel. And I say that to say that it depends on how your significant other feels, like if they're comfortable with it. Like maybe they meet the person. Like someone I dated before wasn't comfortable with a female friend I had. So I had to make some adjustments and things of that nature. But if they were comfortable, I guess it just depends on how that person feels. I personally, I just don't want to be that guy, because this happened to me before. I don't want to be that guy that goes to an event with a significant other at the time, and I'm meeting a guy that have did some things to her in all types of positions, and I don't know it. And I'm just
was that a conversation you had?
And then on the way home, she's like, "Oh, that dude that you met." I'm just smiling in this guy's face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, I'm dapping him up." And then she telling me later, like, "Oh yeah, he did this," and that. I'm like,
okay, so do you have okay, so that's that. Do you have conversations about past sexual partners with your partner?
If you still have relationships.
If you still have relationships with them, do you tell them like, hey, right? So do you tell them? So you're dating Tamika. This is not for real. You're dating Tamika, and Tamika has had a friendship with Tim. Her and Tim used to be intimate. They're not intimate anymore. They're just friends. You meet Tim. How does that? Do you expect Tamika to tell you about the intimacy of their relationship, or do you just know, hey, I've never been intimate? So when you meet Tim, are you thinking in the back of your mind as a man the things that happen?
No, I would. I'm not like I know some of my buddies are totally against like dating, what do you call it, homies, like
Mm-hmm.
that. So but I'm not like that. So I'm with like Future and Sierra and Russell Wilson. Like they were like they get on Russell Wilson. Like, why you date her? He got knocked up by Future. Well, she got knocked up by Future. But I'm open to it. I would be meeting with Tim.
Yeah, we'll call it Tim.
I would meet Tim and I would get comfortable, get a good feeling. Now if Tim is like, for lack of a better term, jackass, like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, tell you what I did, you a chick. I'm like, oh nah,
Right.
you gotta cut it out.
First of all, Tim gonna catch his hand. But why it is that Tim continues to come around? Why is it?
Tim was like,
Tim about to catch his hand.
that's the first part. Tim was catching.
Like off rip or like meeting in the parking lot?
Off rip.
Why
No,
are
like,
we
if you say that, I might.
Yeah.
Going in. Okay.
like we just had a dinner party like, hey bro, by the way,
I might.
That's
Tim
it,
like
that's
that,
it.
but no, but if Tim is like respectful, say dead in the past, just like we didn't work out. I said, okay, cool, this is a good brother. Like one of my homegirls used to be cool with my ex because they knew like she hung out, we run together. She was cool with him hanging out. But there was some chicks that would call at 11:30 at night or 12 o'clock at night, and I'm not gonna hide nothing. I ain't gonna hide. She's like, oh no, you can't talk. So like, if some shit she was accepting of, some shit she wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm saying with like this guy like Tim, if he's cool and I'm okay,
Yeah.
I don't see him coming around and trying to beat around the bush and anything. But
Yeah.
So you're saying it's a case by case basis.
yeah, and
So, I moved here right before COVID, and because of COVID, I didn't have any friends from LA come and visit me. So about a month ago, one of my female friends came out here to visit. She's in a long-term relationship, lives with her significant other. I've met him before. It's one of those case-by-case basis things where this is a person, the friend came out to visit me. I've never been attracted to her. I don't think she's ever been attracted to me. We are completely platonic friends, but we are the opposite sex. Her long-term partner, who she lives with, is so comfortable with me in that opposite sex relationship, he let her fly out to Virginia alone to come and spend a couple days out here to visit with me. That's how it's a case by case basis. There are some men who aren't intimidated by that.
Yeah.
They understand the situation. These are friends. I have female friends. There's times where I might me and this friend might be working from home, both of us. We might be on the phone for an hour and a half at a time. And her boyfriend might be there, and she's having a long conversation with one of her friends. It's not even my concern. I'm not even worried about it. I've met him. I'm secure with this. I would ultimately hope that my partner would have that level of comfort that my friend's boyfriend has.
Yeah.
Because there's literally nothing there. Also, I guess the last thing I can say about that is the situation where you are friends with someone who you've been intimate with. I don't know if that's really completely possible. I may have one or two situations where I can genuinely say, like, you know what? Someone I know was intimate with someone and they're friends now. Very much the exception to the rule. I don't know if you have that attraction to the point where it got to that, like, I don't know if I would call that person a friend. You may be friendly, but I don't know if you're actually that person.
I agree.
So let me ask you this. So would you keep that same energy? Like if your girl or your significant other was like, hey, got a friend back in Wyoming, I just want to fly out to see him for a couple days because he just moved, would you be comfortable? Like,
If I've met that person before, because it's in a situation where I used to live out there, I've been with her, I've hung around her significant other all the time. He knew the dynamic right from the jump. When they started dating each other, she made sure to bring me around him and just like, this is my friend. This is nothing beyond that. And it was cool. So I think both sides of that equation handled it properly and it was done. Do I think that's typical? Definitely not. But I would hope, I'm definitely an atypical person. I would hope my partner would, be, I can't call it involved, but they would be comfortable with that situation because I feel like sometimes when you're honest with someone, you don't have to worry about the person that this person's coming out to you and saying, I'm honest about this. It's the people that they might not be so forthcoming about or don't give you a lot of information about, but the people you have to worry about.